Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to shorter attention, what I was doing and things like that. Hopefully it helps you out. You know, hopefully. Outside lately, it's it's pouring. Yeah, way to go, Texas. I thought it was supposed to be dry here. So today, I wanted to go ahead and cover Chapter 1 of the Combat Trauma Healing Manual, and I wanted to go over a couple things in that book. But before I do, got to start off with some Honor 22 stuff. So this Saturday, we're running the Melon Run 5K up at Smithson Valley High School at 8 a.m. I do still have 2 free tickets for that, so if you guys want to come run, just let me know. What's up, shit? I'm doing a video. We are still accepting teams for the Tournaments of Heroes. Again, teams are $300, and they are 12-person teams, co-ed preferred. And finally, we are still selling t-shirts. They're going to be 15 bucks a pop, and we do have all shapes and sizes there. So, you know, pick up your t-shirt. Help us rep Honor 22 and Hero Training, okay? So Chapter 1 is aptly been named, Where Was God? And again, I want to emphasize some things on this. I'm not trying to disprove anything or discredit anything. I'm just trying to explain the information provided in this book as best I can to help folks that might be suffering from a moral injury build their relationship with God. That is one of the key aspects of recovering from any trauma, is fixing your moral relationship with whatever God you believe in. So, with that being said, let me go ahead and get my whiteboard. Okay, so the book starts off by saying that your primary recovery objective, whether it is recovering from PTSD, rebuilding a relationship with God, they all have the same 3 objectives, and that is to establish stability, establish peace, and establish strength in your life. So when it comes to fixing your moral injury, the moral injury you have with God, the main question that keeps popping up after trauma occurs is, where was God? So to fix that, you have to establish stability, establish peace, and establish strength in your life with God. And again, this book's going to go into that over the upcoming chapters here. This is just the overview of that. So there are a couple quotes I wanted to go ahead and read you guys. Let me find the book real quick. Now again, this is straight out of the book. The first quote I'm going to read says, "The reality of war is that everyone gets wounded. Some wounds heal rapidly, but some last for a lifetime. Some wounds can be seen, some wounds are invisible, inside the heart, soul, and spirit of the warrior. These unseen wounds are often the most difficult to heal because they must heal from the inside out. These are the wounds that affect your belief system, your morals, everything you've ever known. These are the wounds that throw all of that into question. That's why they're so hard to heal, and that's why rebuilding your faith in whatever relationship you have with whatever God you believe in, or lack thereof, is key, because it's all about rebuilding your faith base in whatever it is you believe in. Because again, any sort of trauma can challenge whatever your beliefs are. The next quote I have comes a little bit later in the book. It says, "How could I show so much personal courage and proven fortitude in combat and now be losing the battle of my own mind?" This is a question that I've heard a lot of vets that I've talked to, and I've even had this question for myself. You know, I was a barrel-chested freedom fighter ready to, you know, unleash hate on my enemies. Now I can't even stand in a crowd without being scared. You know, now some of the... Oh, there goes the power. Awesome. That's sketchy. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to continue the video. I know you guys can't see the board, and I'll see what I can do about that in a second. But basically, you know, if I was, you know, a proven badass. Like, I went overseas, I did my job, now I come home and just the simple stuff cares me. So how can I expect other people to believe I'm better? How can I believe I'm better if simple stuff like going out in crowds scares me? So my question has been, and maybe one you have for yourself, is, where was God when, you know, shit hit the fan, when my life spiraled out of control? Where was He? So to answer that, we're going to turn to page 11 here. And in the book it says, "Maybe you knew He was somewhere doing something, but you shook your fist at heaven and cursed Him because He wasn't there doing what you needed when you needed it." So the book also goes into what is known as the God paradox. And it's basically, what it is if God is all-knowing and all-powerful, then why does He allow evil to flourish? So with that being said, I did write down a couple notes in there. So God has never really been far from us. We're the ones that went far from Him. Evil is only allowed to flourish when the absence of God. And if we do not bring Him into our lives, then of course evil men are going to flourish. Now, this is out of the book. This is how I'm taking it. So, as a result of what evil men doing evil things to you, that is why you are blaming God for their actions. The book also quotes, your condition is due to the actions of evil men, not God. God's love is not a romantic love. He's not going to come down and, you know, on a blaze of glory or anything like that. It's kind of like the love of a parent. You know, he wants us to have free will. He wants us to go out and do things with our own lives. And if things get bad, we can always come back to him. So the book also goes into saying that God creates adversities for you so that you can learn to be better from them. Basically, he gives us challenges to learn from, you know, whether it be a horrific trauma or just something simple like a flat tire on the way to work. He gives us these challenges, these traumas, so that we can learn from them, we can experience, we can grow from them on our own. And if these challenges are too tough for us to tackle, we can always turn back to him to kind of help us heal that. So that's what this book is trying to tell you, is the fact that, and well, this is kind of what I'm trying to say as well. Like, no matter what traumas you've gone through, if you are questioning, you know, your faith in God, if you're questioning your faith in whatever you believe in, sometimes these beliefs are there, and sometimes these things you believe in give you challenges, so that way you can figure out just how strong you really are. Because your choices are either to face them or walk away. And on the one option, if you walk away, eventually they're going to snowball into something you can't control. So this is basically what chapter 1 is saying. You know, it just wants you to get back in touch with, you know, it basically wants you to find your relationship in whatever shape or form it might be and whatever you believe in. Of course, this book is saying it wants you to find a belief in God. I'm just telling you that you can also use it for whatever you want to believe in. So there were also a couple questions here. So let me go ahead and write them down, because these might be something for you to think about as we continue on this journey. Let's see. Now, many of you, if you've just experienced a trauma, or even folks that have gone through a trauma over the years, you might still be questioning, you know, your faith in a religion. You might be wanting to find your way back into a religion, which is one of the reasons why you might be reading or you might be watching these videos. But basically, the book wants you to ask, what are your thoughts on God right now? I'm not going to answer that. This is just a question I would like for you to think about. But again, if you're watching these videos and if you're looking into getting this book, the reason you're doing so is because you want to rebuild a relationship. You want to learn more about it and, you know, possibly rebuild a relationship with God. And so this is where it starts out. You know, what are your thoughts on God right now? You need a base level to figure out what you're thinking about and where to go from. The next question I have, let's see. So the next one I had wasn't really a question. It wanted you to write down one instance of a traumatic event that's happened in your life that made you question man's inhumanity. It made you question the belief, your own belief system. So write down one instance of trauma that made you question your beliefs. And again, it doesn't have to be the main trauma. It doesn't have to be something that you have to think about now. It's just asking that, you know, it wants to know what one of the traumas is that made you question these beliefs, because from there you can form a basis to rebuilding that relationship. You have to figure out what's broken before you can fix it. And the final question I have, page 15. Okay. The last question I have from the book, it wants to know right off the bat, do you think you can experience a deep relationship with God again? Do you think going through your traumas and whatever made you challenge your belief system is going to allow you to experience a deep relationship with God? And basically what this question wants to know is, can you forgive? Can you forgive yourself, others, and God? Because no matter how much you want to get better, and no matter how much you want to move past the trauma, there are things that you have to do before that. And those main things are, you have to be able to forgive yourself, forgive others, and forgive God. And a lot of people are going to say, well, what happened to me was super traumatic. How can I forgive other people? How could God allow this to me? How could I forgive myself for this to happen? True, that was very traumatic. That was a very traumatic moment in your life. But if you do not forgive yourself, others, and God, if you're not willing to move past that, you're going to stay in that rut for the rest of your life. So that's basically what this book wants to know, is can you forgive God for what happened? Can you forgive yourself? Can you forgive other people? Because once you can forgive, that's when you can really start to move on. And again, we're going to go into that later in this book. It's going to help us figure out how to, forgive your relationship with God, the things that have happened, and so on and so forth. So with that being said, one of the things this book does offer, and I'm going to read these just because I believe that they are key to helping folks out with their recovery. You may not necessarily believe in the Christian prayer. You might be able to use it for your own religion. It might help you if you don't believe in any religion at all. It's in the book, and I'm trying to portray the information as best as possible, okay? So basically, this last prayer here says, Father, you know how much I hurt. You know the depth of my anxiety, fear, anger, and confusion. You know how much I just want to be normal again. Please hear my prayer, asking for your help. Forgive me not to forgive. Forgive me for not giving you full access to my life up to this point. I know now that I can't fix this, but you made me. You know what to do, so I ask you to lead me out of my darkness into your light. Help me to cooperate with you in this process. Give me patience and the ability to see your hand at work in my life. Increase my faith. Thank you that you would not leave me behind. Amen. So I hope that that prayer there helped, if you're struggling with your relationship with God, I hope that that prayer there could be a bridge point for you to fix that. Because again, big parts of your recovery, you have to be able to fix yourself, you have to be able to forgive other people, and as we're learning now, you have to be able to establish a relationship with your own belief system. Not necessarily God. This book wants you to establish it with the Christian God, but you can establish with any God and with any belief system. It's just you have to get back to your own sense of normal the best way you can. So hopefully, these questions help you out. Hopefully some of the quotes I've said and even the prayer have helped you out. So with that being said, this is starting to turn into a long video. So I'm going to go ahead and knock out some push-ups, and then tomorrow we're going to go ahead and start Chapter 2. Now Chapter 2 has a ton of information, so it's going to be broken down into a bunch of different parts. So hopefully you guys like watching, so stick with me there. Advertisement, hold on. You can't do push-ups to this. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, what's up, baby? Like excuses? Alright guys, so again, there's a ton of information to put out there. If you guys have any questions, any concerns, any comments, feel free to shoot them my way. I'm just trying to make sure that I can get as much of this information out as I can to help as many people out as I can in whatever shape, way, or form. So I hope you enjoyed watching. Hope you guys learned a little something. And, hope you guys stay dry, and I will see you tomorrow.